Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Organic Remedies by Chaz podcast. I'm your co host, Aaron, and on today's episode, appropriately titled Herbal Benefits 101, What to Expect, we'll share the meaning, use, and benefits of herbal products. Now, we're joined, I should say, by our host, of course, and herbal practitioner of Organic Remedies by Chaz, Charles Denton. And we're also joined today by a very special guest, Calandra Eddington, who has served over 16 years as a registered nurse and is also a certified aromatherapist and essential oil specialist, as well as owner and operator of Nursing with Nature, the Wellness RN. Welcome, Calandra.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Calandra and Charles, they share a wonderful collaboration in describing and or determining the herb's efficacy, in which they'll share more of during the discussion. And now, folks, without further ado, here's your host and herbal practitioner, Charles Denton. Charles?
Great, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's listening to the podcast. Thank you for joining us. And hello, Calandra, again. And I'm ready to get started. Let's talk about herbs.
All right, well, let's get right into it. I think the first question is, what is it about the herbs that causes them to work with the human body or human anatomy, as you all would refer to it as?
Well, let's rephrase that question.
Okay.
Let's put it like this. We all eat, and you have to ask yourself, what are the benefits? We eat plants to provide nutrition, which sustains us. I think where we have an issue is making that connection between nutrition and medicine. So here's the thought pattern needed to really understand what's going on. Nutrition strengthens our body. It allows our bodies to do the magic that it does, and it works to build us up, to strengthen us. We grow, we mature. So the magic is working in balancing. The body just rebalances itself constantly, and through that rebalancing, it grows. Well, growth is a function of, again, nutrition and a whole host of things. So it's a symbiotic relationship. Example, plants provide the oxygen we need as well as the nutrients, as I alluded to. So what we do is take these things and we metabolize them within our bodies. And what we fail to realize is that basically it's a medicine, because what it does, medicine is used to help heal you, so to speak, to help build you up, to help keep you going. And that's what herbs do. So growth happens as a result of ingesting plant matter, which heals, allows our system to change constitution and build. Thus, growth and medicine are intertwined to me, because medicine in actuality is really a rebalancing or healing that the body does when it's fed.
Wow. So, what am I hearing you correctly when you say that there's a distinct possibility that the herbs that are contained in plants, that's actually what's contained in medicine?
What we eat is what sustains us and what we build upon. In other words, when you eat, you go, your whole system starts to work. You digest food, you metabolize it, you excrete, your body uses the constituents of the plants in order to build itself. So if you're talking about medicine, to me, medicine is something that you take in order to correct a condition. You're trying to correct something or improve upon something that's going bad, supposedly, in your system. So my thinking is that when you ingest plants, that's basically what you're doing. You're giving your body what it needs to correct itself, to adjust itself to whatever it's having to deal with. Calandra might be better able to say it scientifically, but that's how I see it.
Calandra, go right ahead. Jump right on in there.
Well, plants have something of what we call therapeutic components in it. And scientifically, those components are just like what Charles said, they help build the body.
Okay.
So they built a certain proteins in our body or certain receptors in our body to help correct, if you will, certain ailments that we have. So for example, like say if you're having knee pain or something like that, rosemary has a chemical component to it that can actually attach to the pain receptor cells that are in your body to help, with that pain. And then for turmeric, for example, turmeric has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, if you will. So it attaches to a receptor in our bodies that allows us to decrease inflammation in our body, and way it gives the body a chance to heal itself. So pretty much like it says, let food be thy medicine.
So, well, I'm glad you mentioned, I heard you mention the rosemary for knees, for example, and the turmeric also. So, how do you know, evidently there's knowledge behind there. How do you know which herbs to use for each situation?
Mm, that's a good one. If you pay attention to life, you find that everything has what are called attributes. Each person is unique. We have a personality. Well, herbs are no different. We call it energetics. So the energetic part of it has to do with things like some herbs are warming, some herbs are moistening, some herbs are nutrients,
Okay.
and they have their own taste. Some are bitter, some are sweet. It's all in their energetics. So when you look at their actions, some herbs fight inflammation, as Calandra was speaking to. Some are antispasmodic, some are antibacterial. So some work just on a particular organ in the body, like, dandelion is pretty good for the liver, that type of thing. And then some work on a particular system. Some herbs might use your lymphatics. Like I like ginger, to use ginger a lot because it moves. It just moves through the system. It causes things to move. I might use it to help deliver another action that a herb has to a particular organ or to a particular system. So when someone has an issue that they're trying to deal with, we have to look at the actions of the particular groups of herbs we're going to use.
Okay.
That's how we look at that.
Excellent. Wow. So, what is there a time frame for the herbs to work?
Um, at Organic Remedies, we use a lot of topical products to relieve the symptoms of pain. So actually, you can get a quick response because it's localized. We target in a particular area. Case in point, maybe we're dealing with eczema. Well, the skin may be moist, it may be dry. There may be some oozing. It's going to be probably irritating. So we can put on a salvo butter that will soothe those symptoms, not necessarily curing eczema, but just dealing with the symptoms. So herbs are one aspect, but how you live and eat and go about your life has a lot, if you're exercising, a whole host of things. So topically, we could take care of that, but when you talk about healing, that's a little more time.
Okay. Alrighty. Calandra, could you elaborate on that? Would you like to?
I also am a coach. So when we talk about healing, there's 5 aspects, like I tell my clients, that actually affect how you would be able to heal. And it's your environment, it's your nutrition, it's your emotions, it's your spirituality, how you think, and it's also your physical activity. And depending on those 5 things determines how well your body would heal or not heal, or how long it would take to get to wellness or healing, if you do get to that point. Because healing may be transitioning to the other side, and that's okay too. So um, there's a lot more, like Charles said, there's a lot more aspects to it, as far as just, okay, I'm gonna use this herb and I'm gonna be okay. No, it's more to it than that. So I always tell people your mindset plays a part, and it's also, research has always been showing that if you play some part in some type of spiritual practice, healing will come faster.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. I know that to be true, as a matter of fact, from a personal experience. So now, with that being said, comes into mind: do physicians recommend using herbal products, and do they interfere with prescriptions?
All right, Charles, you want me to get this?
You know that.
Okay, all right. So here's a disclaimer. Physicians will not recommend herbal medications because they are controlled by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. Herbs and essential oils are not considered to be approved by the FDA. You may find some physicians that will just say, work on your diet.
Okay.
Without saying, use this, you know, just coming out saying, work on this herb or whatever the case may be. If you find a holistic practitioner, yes, they will recommend herbs and essential oils and everything like that. But once again, they're more expensive to go see because insurance will not cover them, because once and foremost, the FDA pharmaceutical company pretty much runs everything right now. So a lot of people don't know that physicians are not trained or educated a lot on nutrition. So the first thing that they want to prescribe is a pill, which is masking the symptoms. And a lot of people also don't understand that the pharmaceutical companies study the physiology of the human body. So they want you coming back for more.
Absolutely.
So once they prescribe you something, you're coming back for something else. So for an example, a lot of people that have been diagnosed with diabetes end up coming back with what? High blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Exactly. Yeah. I've got family members that, I mean, the moment they mention one, I just know they have the other.
Yes.
Well, let me interject something, if I may. I think a lot of people go to the doctor's office with the understanding that they're going to be cured of something. And the word cure and healing are really two different things. Okay. To cure, according to Webster, is to relieve of symptoms, which is strange. To heal is to restore health. Thus, with herbs, we seek to restore the good health of the body by assisting the body do whatever it does to rebalance itself. So I think there's a difference that a lot of people don't quite get. And the other piece to this is that drugs are actually single components of herbs. As such, they'll pull out one component from an herb, work with that, and then use that to try to relieve a symptom. But yet that whole herb has an entourage effect. And by that, I mean, you take one herb and it has a lot of attributes, a lot of actions that aren't available when you just take one single piece of that herb and use it for a medicinal purpose.
Okay. Well, Calandra, you have something?
I actually wanted to answer I think the last question you had was, do herbs interact with medications? And some of them do. Okay. You definitely need to consult with a herbalist or aromatherapist, because we deal with herbs just in the liquid form, or consult with the doctor before actually taking an herb. Some herbs, if you're on blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, you can take those herbs at all. If you have problems with your kidneys or your liver, you cannot take those herbs at all. And it's very important to know that there are certain things that are contraindicated, or what we contraindicated, meaning that you shouldn't be taking them, or you should be taking them with caution because they may cause this if you have that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And you know, I'd like to say something important as well. We at Organic Remedies recognize that if someone is going to a doctor and they're on a prescription drug, before I would do anything with them, I'd like for them to complete and or maintain that treatment. Whatever it is that they're doing with their doctor, they need to continue doing, because we will not disrupt, but rather insist that they check with their doctors before they do anything with herbs, because a lot of herbs are blood thinning, as Calandra was saying, a lot of them are. But we respect medical practitioners, and they have a purpose. If you break a bone, that bone a herb will heal that bone. But if it isn't positioned right, it'll heal in that position. Right. So you need a physician to place that bone correctly and go through whatever treatment he's telling you to go through. Then afterwards, you come out and use herbs to strengthen that, to make it solid, to heal it primarily. So we respect practitioners, physical physicians, right, because they do have a purpose.
Absolutely. They do have a place. You all also have a place. And that's what this whole podcast is designed, and the series of podcasts is to communicate and educate folks to let them know what your place is. It is not to take the place of the physician, nor vice versa.
Mhm.
We want to make that clear, folks, for sure. And up until this point, we've been discussing, herbs, and which is what the program is designed to do. Uh, but you also offer you have your topicals, you have your teas and your tinctures. Uh, how does that each of those benefit us? Could you go into that a little bit?
Sure. I mentioned topicals I use to deal with symptoms, but I use teas in a couple of ways. One, I use teas a lot for nourishing because I find that a lot of issues that go on have to do with, as Calandra was mentioning earlier, what we eat and other aspects of our lives. But I use teas a lot for nourishing, and I also use them to carry an herbal action to a particular system or a particular body part. So I use them in that respect, and that I love these to work with topicals because I call it a two-punch, because I can deal with the symptoms and at the same time give you what you need to start that healing process. And now teas take longer to do their things. It takes time.
Why?
I'm working on varicose veins right now, and I'm finding that it's going to take a month to 6 weeks for that to work its way out, because internally you have to strengthen the walls of the veins, and more importantly, you got stagnicity in there. You got stagnant blood up in there, so you're working against gravity and whatnot, and you're not gonna solve that fairly quickly, but you can if you stay with it. So teas are good for that. Tinctures are really strong. They're strong, and I would use tinctures when I'm really dealing with something that's really tough. You got to tip. Then I would recommend a tincture because it's a stronger type of medicine. So, Glad you want to jump in on that.
Well, that's your practice because I deal with just the oils or whatever the case may be. No, but I can say yes, tinctures are a little bit stronger. Um, it depends on what the person is going through. I know Charles does calls me for recommendations, calls me about safety concerns and everything about that when he's making, his blends, whether they're tinctures, teas, or topicals. So I would just say, just to remind everybody, we are not a popcorn. We live in a popcorn generation, and you can't expect popcorn results from us. Things take time.
Right.
They do. They
Sometimes
certainly
what
do.
you're referring to is that popcorn. Typically, everyone loves to put that in the microwave, and that's what it is. We want this instant
Yep.
stuff.
Instant,
Instant,
right?
yeah, instant gratification, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, we and the products, Charles, that you offer, are they safe for kids?
Oh, now, well, okay. In terms of children, I primarily work with adolescents and adults. I don't do very much with children at all. I may prescribe a little calendula salve in order to help a child with diaper rash, but I'm basically dealing with, once you get to be 8 years old, I got a little first aid salve for the little scrapes, bug bites, little things like that, little scrapes and burns that little kids gather when they're out playing, that type of thing. I primarily deal with adolescents and adults. Once you hit that stage, your puberty stage, if you will, then I'm ready to deal with you. But children, I don't do much with.
How about you, Calandra?
As an aromatherapist, we do not make blends for children, especially under 5 years old. We just recommend diffusing the essential oils, so to speak. We have to make sure that the room is well ventilated, and they only should diffuse the essential oils for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Diffusing.
Um,
Diffusing.
okay. Sorry. Let me describe what diffusing
Yes,
is.
please.
So pretty much it's taking the essential oil, putting it in I guess you say in a little machine where you add water, and it kind of diffuses or actually I guess you can say the steam from, the water, or the evaporation from the water with the essential oil kind of brings that essential oil aroma to the room, so to speak. So I know that's kind of like a crazy way to describe it, but pretty much it's just the evaporation of the water with the essential oil in it, and it still has its therapeutic properties while it's being diffused in the air.
Okay.
It's almost like that humidifier type thing.
Almost
People
like
may be familiar with that, where you use a humidifier to put moisture in there.
Yeah, cool mist. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the diffusers work primarily the same way, except they're taking a medicine, they're delivering a medicine. A lot of people do it. Some people do it by putting their head over steam water.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
For
draping their
allergies.
head over steam water. Concept's the same. Concept's
Yeah.
the same.
Okay. Very
Children, no, don't use too much on kids.
Mhm.
No, especially birch and wintergreen, they can cause Rye syndrome in kids. Yeah, it's not fun. So with children, you have to be very careful because they metabolize a lot differently than adults.
And their systems are so fragile. You know, they're developing, and you start throwing things in like that, you don't know what kind of consequence you're going to get out of that. So I don't. In our business, we don't do it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you breaking it down in layman's terms, the both of you, as to why. And I'm pretty sure that our audience, that's valuable for them to know too. That way they can know immediately. Let's go directly to our physician. Let's stick with our pediatrician, make sure that they are aware of that. So, folks, we want to certainly thank you for joining us, and also thank our guest, Calandra Eddington, for being our guest as well.
Thank y'all for having
me. Well, we're going to have you back. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'll be more than welcome to come back.
All right. Well, let everyone know about your website or social media platform, if you will.
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook, the Nursing with Nature, the Wellness RN. On Instagram, you can find me at Nursing with Nature _wellness, all lowercase. And my website is www.nursingwithnature, all one word, .services.
All righty. Thank you once again. We appreciate
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I enjoyed myself.
Good. We enjoyed having you.
Well, Charles, listen, what's next on our podcast? And also, real quickly, we've got just a few seconds left. Let our listeners know how they can find these herbal products. And, for those that want to, go out to your website, let them know.
Sure. Of course, you can always catch us on the webpage as Organic Remedies by Chaz. Again, one word.com, organicremediesbychaz.com. Facebook is facebook.com/herb-chaz. You can also catch us at 682-408-4186. Now, we have a storefront. It's in the DeSoto, Texas area, and that's 324 East Beltline Road, Suite 607, DeSoto, Texas, 75115. Either of those, or message us. Go to the website and message us. We'll be glad to respond to any message you might have. So with that, I want to say thank you for listening, and future podcasts are now going to be a little more specific. I really would like to do one next on attributes of pain, not attributes, but types of pain, and get into a little discourse about that, because that's a big subject coming up with the season. So look forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. And again, thanks for tuning into the episode of the Organic Remedies by Chaz podcast, Herbal Benefits 101, What to Expect. And just as Charles shared, if you by chance missed any portion, or you would like to listen again, or perhaps listen to a previous podcast, simply browse out to our website, again, at www.organicremediesbychaz.com under the podcast tab. Or you'll also find a line of our products under the website link as well, and that'll be provided for you also here. It'll be displaying for you. Or you may contact us at 682-408-4186 should you have any questions. And of course, for those in the DFW area, we're conveniently located Charles gave the address there at 324 East Beltline Road. And for those of you who are familiar with that, it's the Gros de Soto Marketplace. Okay. Finally, be sure not to miss our next podcast. As Charles just alluded to, will be on the topics of pain, different types of pain. So until then, take care and God bless you.